Did a client ever ask why you stopped working for a year and you froze? Welcome back to Career English Podcast. I'm James and that's Alex. Today, 5 English words to explain a gap in your work history. By the end, you'll know the calm answer that makes a client trust you fast.
Okay, here's a real moment. Last month, a client on Upwork looked at my profile and said, "You have a 1-year gap here. What happened?" My heart dropped, and I just typed, "personal reasons," and hoped he would move on. He did not move on, James.
That's a very common moment, and you are not alone. A gap is just a time with no job between 2 jobs. Clients see the gap, but they only worry when you sound nervous. So the trick is to answer in a calm, short way and then keep going.
But wait, let me push back. If I say it was for personal reasons, isn't that already enough? Why do I need more words? I feel like the client doesn't need my whole life story.
Good push. You're right that personal is enough sometimes, but many clients want to hear you grew during that gap. So you add what you did, like learning a new skill or doing volunteer work. Then you finish by saying you feel ready to work now.
So I shouldn't say, "I was learn new tools" in my message. That sounds wrong even to me, but I'm not sure why.
Nice catch in small fix. We don't say, "I was learn." We say, "I was learning new tools," or "I spent my gap learning new tools." Learning is the action of getting new skills, so it works perfectly when you explain a quiet year on your profile.
Got it. So my answer becomes a little story. There was a gap, I was learning, and now I'm ready. That already feels stronger than just typing personal reasons and praying.
Let's walk through each word. First, gap. A gap is the empty time between 2 jobs. You can say, "I have a gap from January to June," or "There is a small gap in my work history." Say the gap plainly, because hiding it makes a client more curious.
And I'd add this from real life. Most freelancers have a gap somewhere. Clients in different time zones see it all the time, so a gap is normal. The problem is never the gap itself. The problem is a shaky, scared answer about it.
Exactly the point. Now, second word, learning. Learning means getting new skills or new knowledge. You can say, "I spent my gap learning English," or "I was learning to use new software." Learning turns an empty gap into useful time, and clients love that.
But I'll challenge you again. What if I wasn't learning anything fancy during my gap? Some people just rest, or they had a hard year. Not everyone takes a course, James.
Fair, and that's where word 3 helps. Personal. Personal means about your own private life, not about work. You can say, "I took time off for personal reasons." You don't have to explain a personal matter in detail. A client respects a calm, short, personal answer.
I like that. So personal is my polite door. I keep the private part private, but I still sound honest and clear. That feels safer than oversharing my family problems with a stranger on a client call.
Right. Now word 4, volunteer. To volunteer means to do work for free to help others. You can say, "I did volunteer work at a school," or "I was a volunteer for a local group." Volunteer work fills your gap and shows you stayed active and kind.
Oh, this one is useful. Many of my friends do volunteer work in their towns, but never put it on their profile. They think free work doesn't count. But a client reading it sees a real, active person, not an empty gap.
Exactly why we name it. Last word, ready. Ready means prepared and able to start now. You can say, "I feel ready to work again," or "I'm ready for new projects." Ending with ready tells a client your gap is over and your focus is back.
So ready is the happy ending of my little story. Gap, then learning or volunteer work, then I'm ready. It moves the client's eyes from the past to right now, which is where I want them.
Let's practice the key sentence together. Try saying this one with me. I'll say it once, and then you say it after me in your own voice. "I had a gap last year, but I'm ready to work now." Slow and calm, like you mean it.
I had a gap last year, but I'm ready to work now. Oh, that felt good. It's short, and it doesn't sound scared. I think the calm tone matters as much as the words themselves.
It does. We practice that sentence because the client hears your confidence, not just your story. When you say gap and ready in the same calm breath, you take the worry away. Your voice tells them the empty time is finished and you are back at full speed.
Okay, let me try a fresh scene now. Imagine a client video call. The client says, I see a long gap on your resume. Tell me about it. Watch how I use all our words to stay calm and clear.
Go for it. I'll listen like I'm the client, and then I'll tell you what made me trust you. Take your time and use each word naturally, the way we practiced.
Here goes. Yes, I had a 1-year gap. I took some time off for personal reasons, and during that time, I kept learning new design tools. I also did volunteer work for a small charity. Now I feel ready and excited to start new projects with you.
That was strong, and here's why I trusted it. You named the gap fast, so I stopped worrying. You used personal once and didn't overshare. Then learning and volunteer showed me a busy, growing person. And ready at the end told me you're back.
And notice I didn't say sorry even one time. Many freelancers apologize for their gap, but there's nothing to be sorry about. A calm story beats a sad apology on every client call.
Big lesson there. Apologizing makes a small gap look like a big problem. Your calm story makes a real gap look normal. So drop the sorry, keep the facts, and finish with ready every single time.
Let me ask one more thing. Does this work in a written proposal too, not just a call? Sometimes the client never speaks to me. It's all typed messages on the platform.
Yes, the same words work in writing. In a proposal, you can add one short line. I had a gap last year for personal reasons and spent it learning and doing volunteer work. I'm ready for your project. Short, honest, done. The client reads it in 5 seconds. Let me bring it all together with one freelance picture. A client sees a gap on your profile. You don't panic. You say it was personal. You say you kept learning. You mention some volunteer work. And you finish strong with, I'm ready now. 5 small words turn a scary moment into a calm, professional answer.
Let me lock it in with my own 2 sentences. I had a gap, but I spent it learning and doing volunteer work for personal growth. Today, I'm fully ready for your project. That's the version I'll actually save and reuse.
Save that one for sure. Subscribe if you want more English for your freelance career. Because next episode will show you how to ask a client for more money without sounding rude. It pairs perfectly with today's confident, calm answers.
Quick wrap from me. Don't hide your gap and don't apologize for it. Name it, show your learning or volunteer work, keep the personal part short, and end with ready. That little story will carry you through any client call.
Beautiful summary. Pick one of those sentences, make it your own, and keep it ready in a notes file. Try this in your next email. Come back next episode and tell us how it went.